All right, hey there. Good morning, everybody. It is just after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here on Monday, the 23rd of March, 2021 in beautiful Boerne, Texas. Had some crazy weather last night. A bit of severe weather running through the area, but we're all right. Hail and everything got through. Garages are definitely I would almost say they're mandatory here in Texas. Keep your vehicles from getting damaged by all that hail. But anyway, Chris Franks with Texas West Capital, and I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you traded safe over the weekend. Bitcoin's been doing, what we've been talking about for a while now. So, it's moving in line with expectations. DXY moving in line with expectations. Some of the easier trading right now really is in the Forex pairs. Shorting, I've talked about it before, shorting the euro against the dollar has been really, really profitable. Longing the dollar against the yen has been pretty profitable. Shorting the Great British Pound, the cable there against the U.S. dollar has been good. Recently, it looks like the U.S. dollar is doing well against the loonie there, the Canadian dollar. And so I'm thinking there might be a bottom finally in that. Oil taking that huge dive at the end of last week. That was pretty significant. So a lot going on in the markets. Stocks are down, of course. And things just kind of working out as you would expect them more or less. TLT looks like it may have bottomed. It's still got a bit higher to go to even start getting that first clue that the bottom may be in. But, that thing seems to have been going down forever now. So, if you're looking at bonds and what's going on there, you've got that. Just what a time to trade right now. Like I said, I think the easiest trades right now, it's where I've been concentrating mostly has been dollar strength against foreign pairs there. Against really concentrating a lot on the decline of the dollar or the decline of the euro against the dollar there. So dollar strength in the euro has really been profitable for me here last month or so. So hopefully you guys are getting in on it. Making some money here and there and everywhere. Let me see. Who's here already? Mark, what's going on, man? Nevlusian's here. Wesley Mess is here. Who else is? Josh Johnson. Good morning, sir. Sparl Architect. Good to see you. Wesley says up only. Are you talking about the DXY? Yeah, up only. Dead Tease, what's up, man? That's right, man. No reason to listen. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the reality of it. New traders, especially if they're really green. They'll listen to what I say, but they won't understand. And so they'll get on there and they'll say, oh yeah, well, look at that. You just covered everything. If it goes up here, then there. If it goes down there, then there. Yeah, exactly. If it goes beyond this level, then our target's up here. If it goes below this level, then our target's down there. I mean, how much easier can you make it to trade? This idea that you absolutely have to know where price is going in order to be, a profitable trader is just absolute nonsense, because what that's going to do, it's going to many times cause you to be emotional and stick to positions you shouldn't be sticking with. But if you have an understanding of where your validation and invalidation levels are, then there's no reason to panic. If you understand how price typically moves via, something like Elliott Wave, where that price, advances in 5 waves, pulls back in 3, and even the different types of corrections that are possible and whatnot and where they may occur. I mean, as far as like, a triangle occurs in wave 4 or wave B or something like that. I mean, it makes it difficult to really, what's the word there? Panic. There's no reason to panic. You panic when you don't know what's going on. I think the way I see it is, if you don't understand what's going on, that's why you panic. It's the fear of the unknown. But if you do have an understanding of what's possibly going on there, then that means you've already thought about this ahead of time, which means you've already been prepared in case it does this thing that everybody else is panicking about. So definitely something to keep in mind there, guys. Why I always talk about, it's so important to understand validation and invalidation levels when you're trading. Let me see here. Crypto Mowgli, what's up, sir? Good to see you. Dated, my buddy checking in here. Crypto Sir, and good afternoon, sir. Telluride, Epic Whiskers, good call. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. He says, good call on the first buy target in Bitcoin last night. Yeah. So, updated, for our members, we updated Bitcoin last night, as we do. And so pretty much hit our target this morning, a few $100s off, but again, we're talking about big $1,000 movements here. So at the end of the day, $200, isn't a big deal. But it didn't stop $200 above, it went about $200 below. So, it was good, it worked out well. And I think we've got still some further downside to go. I don't know yet if it's an ABC or if it's a 1, 2, 3. So we're playing it as ABC at the moment and seeing how it plays out. So we'll talk about that today. Hello, Bianca. Good to see you checking in. Spooky DC, what's up? Goldocker's here. Rico, what's up, man? Good to see you. Let me see here. Juan Abroad, are you bullish or bearish on Bitcoin? Does it really make a difference? I mean, I'm not emotional. So if I'm not emotional about a position, then does it really matter whether I'm bullish or bearish on Bitcoin? And, in asking your question there, and I'm being completely honest here, something I want you to think about. Also, what time frame are we looking at? I'm overall bullish on Bitcoin. Sure. Locally here, we've got some more downside coming in, and we're about to talk about that, but, that'll determine if we've got further downside or not. Lots of possibilities going on here, but we've been managing the positions as we've been talking about it, every day there in Discord a few times a day. So, a lot going on there. So we'll talk about that. A funny thing about, and the reason why I ask that question to you like that is because many times your new traders, especially on crypto Twitter, if you talk about a pullback, all of a sudden you're bearish. If you talk about a bigger, it's like crypto Twitter cannot get their heads out of their rear ends. They can't get beyond, the right now. And for them, right now is always up. So if you talk about something bigger, some larger corrective process, to them, that means you're bearish. In actuality, that larger corrective structure would be a lot more bullish than anything that's going on at the moment if it was just to go up right from where it's at the moment. So yeah, a lot to think about in terms of that. I'm not a big fan of using terms bullish or bearish either because they're emotional terms. That's what leads to what I just talked about. One of the most difficult things you guys are going to do, as I continue to mention as new traders is, and even, as you become more experienced, is dealing with your emotions. And so your emotions, if you're emotional, it leads to impatience, which leads to bad trades. You feel like you have to be in just because you're not in. You feel like you're going to miss the move. But, at the end of the day, if you're trading always looking for the move, you're going to miss all the other moves, which would put you a lot further ahead than that one single move. And the odds are you'll never get that one single move anyway. Even if you're lucky enough to get in toward the bottom of that move, you're going to get out way before it ends because that's human nature, because emotions. So, trading effectively is consistently taking profits and then, finding new trades. Time and compounding will take care of getting you where you want to be, capital-wise, wealth-wise. But, again, these are things that most traders don't understand, or, people that want to be traders don't understand. So, yeah. Let me see here. Do I look at Theta or T-Fuel at all? I have a feeling you're asking about this because Theta's done so much now. What is it, 166 times from the bottom or something like that? But that's always dangerous when you're getting interested in things after they've made huge moves. So if you remind me before the end of this episode here, maybe we can take a look at Theta or T-Fuel. I've looked at them before, sure. We made lots of money either way on those, sure. Hey there, Mechanic. Good to see you. Farm D, what's up, buddy? He says the 3-day RSI breached down. Yeah, that 3-day closed. And again, we're going to look at that here with everything as well. Wazobia Dollars, come checking in from Nigeria. Hey there, good to see you. Do you think we will have an alt season? I think we've had an alt season. I think, lots of alts are up just ridiculous times from the bottoms. I think we've had it, already. I know everybody's looking for some magical alt season. The idea that Bitcoin, pulls back and then alts really pop. It may. But I think instead of waiting for something like that, I think it's, you go there and you watch and you look for these awesome trades that are already showing up along the way. I think if you're waiting for this, almost this unicorn, this alt season, I think you miss most of the trades that you should be in already. You know, if you're getting in, if you're noticing that alts are bottoming prior to this alt season thing you're looking at, then all you have to do is get in and let everybody else take care of your making you a ton of money there. So yeah, that's you know, I kind of pull back a bit when people talk about alt season because again, you know, alts have been doing really well for a while now. You know, you made a lot of money off those. Let's see here. Hey there, Pixafin checking in from Switzerland. What's up, buddy? Budman says down to 46K potentially. Right now, the local target is not. So, hey, listen, guys, if you haven't joined us yet, you know, join us here at howtotradetowin.com. We'd absolutely love to have you there. And let me check here real quick, guys. I think we still got one more of those coupons from last week. If anybody's new here, remember this is for new people that haven't been a part of How to Trade or How to, you know, Texas West Capital before. Because if you have, the code won't work because it checks that. It's for new people. But let me see here. Oh, let me see if I can find that code there. Ah. So what you do is you go into howtotradetowin.com here. You go to join us. You click on, you find the annual tier 3. It only works for the annual. But you're going to use this tier 3 annual 35% off. And that should still work one more time. I think we've got one more left on that. Normally it's $199 a month, guys. This with the discount you normally get for getting a year, and then this coupon on top of it, it actually takes your average monthly rate down to $84.12. So, you know, get on it, man. If you guys want to be in there, once it's gone, it's gone. That's it. We've done it. I think we've given out a total like 3 or 4 of these, maybe 5 of these in the last few weeks, and that might be all we do for a while. So it's your chance to really kind of get in there really inexpensively. We'd love to have you in there. I'm telling you guys, more than you know what to do with as far as content goes. Well over 60 hours of educational stuff. You know, we've got over 20 assets. We just added TLT today, and then we're going to have ADA, and we're going to have DOT as well. We're also going to have the Great British Pound against the USD as well, added to these for Tier 3, all these for Tier 3 here with our updated daily and intraday, what's going on there. And then, of course, we got our twice weekly crypto indexes, all 5 of those. So it kind of lets you know where the money's flowing in terms of, you know, is it the exchange coins? Is it DeFi? Is it, gosh, all those different ones that we cover in there. You know, shit coins. Is it, what is it? Alt, DeFi, exchange, mid, and shit perp. So those, you know, where's the money kind of flowing in your alts there? Kind of let you know if maybe you should be kind of potentially getting ready to get out, stuff like that. So, you know, a lot of good stuff in there. And like I said, of course, with Tier 3, you know, you can request charts and see the charts everybody else has requested. Plus you got hot takes, which are setups that we put out. Plus you have chart critiques where, you know, you can ask me some questions about your chart and help you look at it and tell you if maybe you missed something or if it looks good or other things you should keep in mind. All that fun stuff, man. And don't forget, we also have our macro finance channel, man. That's an awesome channel. Lots of stuff. If you want to learn some of this other stuff that I discuss, you know, when we talk about QE or how the banking system really works, you know, how the money flows, treasury, stuff like that, bonds, all that kind of stuff. We kind of discuss all that in there as well. Usually point you all to some really good info on it. So lots of stuff, man, lots of stuff. You know, most people don't believe, but man, you get over here and you see, you're like, holy crud, I can't deal with all that. I don't know what to do with all that content. Let me see here. How safe are DeFi platforms and interest rates on USDC? They are paying 8 to 12%. I don't think, I think Telluride correct there. I don't think they're insured. So, you know, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I know you got people out there talking about doing it. I know Scott does some of it, I think. And you got other big accounts that do it, man. I'm much more risk adverse, guys. And so, I don't like putting my money someplace where there's no protection of it. I'm not saying you can't do it and you can't make money with what's going on with it, but I don't know how safe they are. Honestly, I know they're not insured, so if something happens to it, you're kind of SOL. So that's something you definitely have to keep in mind. Remember, guys, risk is not just putting in these positions on the chart here and seeing that it wants to go here, whatever. Risk also is what exchange are you using? What are these other things? This is all part of your risk management that you should be considering, because generally your exchange platforms aren't just in general aren't covered, aren't insured. And just because maybe they've had some issue in the past and they've covered it themselves from their own funds, so you didn't lose anything, doesn't mean they'll continue to do that or that they can continue to do that. So when I say I always say in trading that you never put in more than you can afford to comfortably lose. I mean it. But I especially mean it with crypto because, again, at least if you're doing it with more mainstream markets, Forex or stocks or something like that, your platform should be insured in some way. But, again, with crypto, it really just isn't there yet. So, you're taking on that extra risk as well, which is why we always talk about, leverage. And leverage isn't necessarily a bad thing if you use it correctly. You can use leverage not to make some huge returns, but just to amplify the effect of the money that you put in there. So instead of having to leave $1,000 in crypto on the platform, where there's all that counterparty risk, using 20 times leverage, you'd only need to put, $50 on there. And you can get the same return as you would with $1,000. The same return with $1,000, but you only have $50 at risk because you only have $50 of crypto sitting on there instead of $1,000. So this is something we've discussed in depth before, but all these things kind of add into that whole risk thing. But especially when it comes to crypto. Dead T says, I just signed up for tier 3 and it was easily the best decision I've made. Hey, thank you for saying that, buddy. I appreciate that. Again, guys, it's hard. I know, there's a lot of scams out there, a lot of scammers and whatnot. So we try and do what we can to help you understand that we're really legitimate here and, working hard to continue to add to it. And we really do produce a stupid amount of content. But, it's still ultimately up to you to take the step, and then, hit the trigger and kind of do it. So, yeah. What's going on, Brian? Riley? Sorry, man. What's going on, Michael? Michael says the Voyager is FDIC insured. So there, I guess if you want to maybe do something like that, I guess look at Voyager. Michael's saying that they're FDIC insured. So if I was to do it, that would be my choice. I would prefer to go someplace that's FDIC insured. It doesn't mean that you won't lose your money, but it means that if something happens to the platform or whatever, it's money stolen or things happen, that shouldn't be happening. At least the government says, you're insured up to X amount of dollars. But you always have to make sure that you understand what that limit is, because there is a limit. It's not, indefinitely to any size insured there. Let me see here. What's going on, FOMO Factory? It says +1 for FTX in the current market conditions, not DeFi, though. Yeah. Oh, okay. I see, because that Wesley was saying that you can also lend your USD on FTX. Some hours you get 100% per annum. Depends on the open interest. Yeah. Common Man, what's up, man? Let me see here. Talking about Rolls Royce. All right, man. Yeah, remind me here in a bit as we get through some of these normal charts that we get through, and then we'll take a look at it. Sure. What's going on, Hank? What inverted head and shoulders? You'll have to tell me, man. What's the name of the volume indicator on the x-axis? On the x-axis? Talk about this one over here. This is VPVR. If you're using TradingView, I think you have to have a pro level account at least. So I think it's one of the lower paid accounts to get access to this one. You won't get it on the free one, unfortunately. But if you're using other platforms, you can usually, I think most of the time on other platforms you can get it for free on there. So, but yeah, it's just volume per price level. It shows you how much volume is transacting at specific price levels rather than down at the bottom here, which looks at time. This says there's this much volume in this particular time here, this 15-minute candle. This over here says there's this much volume at 57, 8, 10, and 87 cents. So yeah. Let me see here. What are you talking about? This right here is an inverted head and shoulders? Nah. There's this would have to be left shoulder, head. This would be right shoulder, and the volume declines off here as it breaks up and through. The volume should be expanding on the move from the bottom here up. So it's not, so I don't think it is. Let me see here. We've got wave 4. I think we've got wave 4 playing out here. So last night we were talking, I was telling Discord there, that we were looking for a rejection here, or prior to, we were doing 3 here. We're looking for a rejection at the pivot here on the 15-minute for wave 4. And then I was looking at minimum wave 5 target of 53,250 here. As you can see, we went right below that, popped back up. We were looking for a minimum wave 4 target up here of just around the pivot area. And so, of course, we can see that right there. So, I mean, a good set of targets going on here. Let me see here. If this count is correct, then, we're right here around the 38.2. It could continue, it could potentially go all the way up here to the 50, the 56,350 here. Because again, we normally look at the 38.2 for wave 4 and then potentially the 50 if it continues through there. And another way to look at it is you've got this ascending support here. So break down through it and then a retest of it as resistance and then continue down. By the way, I mentioned that when we got the breakdown through this, we should see volume expand and candle spreads get larger. That's what we got here. So, doing what we expect to do there. Right now, again, it'll depend on if we get this rejection in this area, if we continue up to the 50. But right from about this area where we're at, our wave 5 minimum should be around 51,204 down here. Now, this is where I said I don't know if we've got an ABC or if we've got a 1, 2, 3. We'll have to see. But right now, we're looking at an A, B, and then a C in this area. If price continues on down through that, then, of course, as we talked about last week, we're going to look further down here around 46,000. And I think that's what you were asking earlier there. Budman, I think it was, right? Yeah, that 46,000 area. So we'll see. We'll see how it does right here. Again, coming off this, we've got a 1, 2, and I believe we've got a 3 and a 4 here. And then we should have a 5 down here. If we look at this, and 50% will take you into the wick here of wave 1, but that should be fine because, wave A here is not overlapping. It isn't a diagonal. So wave C can be an ending diagonal. So you can have 4, push up on 1 like that. That'll be fine. Let me see here. I think the only time you become concerned that maybe this is a bottom here is if we're getting above this wave 4 up here, this 58, 421, 68. I think if you're pushing up above this line, then you should be paying attention. But until you actually get above that wave 4 in parentheses up there, this count is still pretty valid going on here. Let me see here. If we zoom on out, let me see here. As you can see here on the 1 hour, we're well up here, almost topped out and overbought on Stochk RSI here. Locally here, we're about to get some bearish divergence or hidden bearish divergence here. We're about to get higher RSI, lower highs in price. We're pretty close to that. Yeah. So if it closes above, this, that point right there, which is 56.24 on the hourly, if it closes above that, then we'll have lower highs here and we'll have higher highs on the oscillator, which suggests that we've got hidden bearish divergence. Hidden bearish divergence just means that price should continue in the direction of the bearish trend, which, as you can see, is even locally here is down. Bearish trend. So, yeah. Let me see here. Oh, okay. Inside joke, Hank. Gotcha. Sir Hold, what's up, man? Good to see you checking in. Let me see here. FOMO Factory says if 4 goes up past 1, does that invalidate? No, yeah. So like I just said there, because wave A here, because wave A is not a leading diagonal, so 4 didn't push up into 1, that means we could see C being an ending diagonal and get it done there. Now, of course, the other possibility here is that this is potentially, I hate to say an A, a B, and then this is, this would be one of C down here and back up. I think if this is going to be one of the next set of 5 waves down, I think this is probably a 1, 2, and then this would be a 1 of 3. So then you get 1, 2 back up here, and then 3, 4, 5. And now you've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we'll continue to look at it as it plays out, as it's working there. Right now, in either case, it just means, hey, guess what? We're heading further down, most likely. For right now, what you want to see is a decline here below this swing low. This should be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an ending diagonal here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's an A. That would be a B on the pullback here. So a decline below that pullback at 54,100 should indicate that wave 4 is done and wave 5 is in progress. Again, down toward this minimum level here. The further this pushes up, the higher up this minimum target will go. But we'll continue to watch it there. As far as the 1 hour goes, again, take everything else off, just looking at pivots. You drop through the pivot, you should be looking at least at the S1. Potentially up here, it moves down toward the S2, so even just trading pivots, that works out really well. Just what you'd normally expect. 4 hours got more room here on Stochk RSI and RSI, but RSI itself stopped just above oversold. It's still in this downtrend here, so high, low, lower high, lower low, potentially lower high building here. So right now, structurally, it's still in this downtrend, and usually, you look for that 4 hour to come down into oversold. It can bounce like this. Usually, it doesn't. So again, when we're trading, we're always looking at what usually happens, what happens more times than not. And more times than not, if it gets to this level and bounces, it's usually just a bounce before coming back. So again, suggests that we could see more downside there. If we continue to look at this, remember, we've got this ascending support here, which is what we dropped through there on some volume, candle spread. So we'll continue to see if it holds. Again, if it continues pushing up there and, retest that resistance, that support is resistance. Let's see here. This is 57,100, right around there. Let's pull this back over here. There we go. So that would be around the almost the 61.8 extension here. So we'll see how this plays out locally here. Again, could be an ending diagonal here, in which case, popping up through the pivot, hitting the R1, which gets you rejected at the ascending support there, would kind of, potentially send it back down here to finish off that ending diagonal, if anything. Now, the bigger thing that we've talked about previously as well is this thought that maybe this could be an ABC, ABC, and basically just getting a triangle here. So this would be A, this would be B, and then you'd have C down here. I would think C would probably have to come down here around 46, 47,000 where this high volume node is. And you'd have D back up here, probably around 54, 55,000. And then E back down maybe around 50,500, 50,750, right around there. And then you'd have it up. So that would be a 3 and then a triangle for a 4 and then a 5. The other thought, obviously, is that this could be an expanded flat. Because if this is a triangle, it's going to be a running triangle, and they aren't, they're more rare. So it's a running triangle because wave B terminates above where wave A begins. But again, this is also similarly potentially a expanded flat here. Because again, if it can be a triangle, ABC down, ABC up, then it can be a flat, ABC down, ABC up. And then you're looking for 5 down, though. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 below this swing low here, which is 43,016. So some possibilities still has here. So, again, in Discord, we're kind of trading this more locally, as we discussed last night, and last, continually here all the time. From when we were wave 3 here, looking for a wave 4 right here, looking for a wave 5 down here, looking for, larger wave 4 up in this area minimum. So I think that'll help out a lot more there. As far as the daily goes, daily was something we talked about for a bit there. Again, got the move up here. Everybody's getting very bullish here. And then we got ugly candle, ugly candle, ugly candle, ugly candle, and bam. So, again, had these tails on here showing there was some demand, but got checked right at resistance again, right at the R1. Doji, 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 doji. And then supply candle came in yesterday. So today getting a bounce up here. Still much room for it to fall. Still a lot of room for it to fall here on Stochk RSI. Don't forget, we were looking at bearish divergence right here coming off the top. And so pretty much confirming that with this move down here, so it doesn't, shouldn't surprise that we continue to fall. Here's the thing to watch, though. It's the 23rd right now. We got about 9 days left in the month. And so 9 days left in the month means the monthly candle's coming to a close. And this is important to watch. I talked previously about these two candles right here, January and February, and how we have a lot of supply showing up. And so we want to see how does this month turn out. Has it overcome the supply here, or is the supply increased at this point? Are we getting more, much more supply than demand in this area? So, we've still got nine days to go, almost a week and a half. Still too early to see anything there, but man, oh man, if the monthly closes near where it opened, or heaven forbid below where last month closed, which was 45,231 and 75 cents here on Coinbase, if it closes down that area, all of a sudden, it doesn't guarantee that price has to reverse right there, but if you're long, you should be paying attention at that point. Really kind of looking in locally if that monthly prints like that. Because again, it will just show continuation of this supply coming in over the last few months that, in that case would say it's taking over demand. Which means all the demand coming in over the last 3 months down here has been selling into shorts. So, and that wouldn't, this is a pretty far way down. This is 33,000 or so up to, 61 and a half. So if that's all shorts being sold into, I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying, if we get that situation where it is, that to me, that's going to signal a significant decline. That should see us getting back down to 10,000 probably, because it's, again, look at that range there. It's 33,000 to 61 and a half. So definitely something worth paying attention. But again, it could just be local, but it's just the fact that 1-2 months in a row, you have that significant bit of supply coming in. And then again, depending on what happens this month, to see if it gives that story more oomph with it there. Let's see here. Let me kind of catch up with y'all. Let me see. Let's see here. Is there any type of rivalry between the Elliott Wave traders and the guys who use Gann's methodology, like the Longhorns and the Sooners or something? Oh, man. Nah, man. Nah, there's no rivalry like that. Yeah, everybody just uses their thing, and you just kind of go in there. And, the great thing about all this is it all works out ultimately to the same, targets and whatnot. It just depends on if you're reading it correctly at the time. That's all. And so, there's never any guarantee that we're ever reading anything correctly, which is why risk management is so important. So, yeah. Let me see here. Let me kind of catch up here. Do I factor in potential Bitcoin price impact on alt setups? Not really. Not really. I tend to look at alts through the lens of whatever the chart says at the time. Now, I look at everything in its bigger picture based on what the DXY is doing. But that's, that's a much bigger, longer term kind of thing there. So it takes a while to kind of set up and get confirmations and stuff like that. But not usually. I mean, there's a lot of alts that seem to do all right, even with Bitcoin's rising a bit. It just depends on what Bitcoin is doing. I've seen all these kind of explanations since I've been in the crypto space, January of 2017. So what is that now? 4 years already? We've all kind of gone through these phases of what means what. But I think things change. And this is something I said a few years back, is that I imagine that this relationship between alts and Bitcoin will kind of change as the projects become more serious and are taken more seriously and get some more capital behind them, rather than just becoming, these pump and dump scenarios. I still believe right now that the only thing that really matters is whether Bitcoin is going up or not. A lot of people look at fundamentals and they say, oh, the fundamentals are so great here, whatever. But at the end of the day, guys, think of ICOs. Everybody was touting this company and that because, this team, and look at their roadmap and everything's going on. And at the end of the day, look at how many of those were scams and how many of them haven't done anything and whatnot. I think, I think crypto really is just still speculation, guys, purely. There's people who are trying to speculate that the company will eventually do well enough that it can shed most of the restraint from Bitcoin off, but it's still speculation. And you're going, but the fundamentals, the people that are running it and this, and again, I just point you back to 2018 ICOs, 2017. I'm not a big believer in fundamentals. As far as here, what's going on here with crypto right now, I still ultimately believe that if Bitcoin's doing well, if Bitcoin is bullish, then it's bullish for everything overall. Rising tide lifts all ships. But if it's not, you're still going to see some that get more speculation than others, and so they continue to do well in face of it. But really, that's all it is. People, and it becomes a self-fulfilling kind of prophecy. People get into one, and then it starts doing well when the others aren't, and then so more people get into it, which continues to make it look better, and so more people get into it, kind of thing with that. Let me see here. So yeah, not really so much. But some of the most fun speculation to trade. Oh yeah, speculation is great. And I think this is where a lot of people misunderstand if they're new to trading. They think, he says it's speculation, so he's bearish on it. He doesn't believe in it. No. I just mean that every market starts out as speculation. Now, what it does beyond there, you have to wait and see. But every market starts out as speculation to begin with. That's where it all is. I've got great hopes for Bitcoin. Not because I think it's going to become, it's going to replace gold, or because, it's going to replace the dollar, or it's going to be the world reserve currency, or other nonsense like that. And yes, guys, it is nonsense, honestly. I don't do it for that. I just think it's got a good place. Bitcoin's got the possibility to just put itself in there with everybody else. And that's going to be amazing to make money with. But, guys, at the end of the day, everybody out there talks about, the dollar's so terrible, this and that, whatever. But yet they value their Bitcoin on the dollar. They're only interested. They keep throwing all this. Oh, look, it's up to this level. Oh, look, it's up to 50. Oh, look, it's up to 60. So they're living a lie for themselves. I mean, the reality, that's what it is. What are you going to do, right? So you can go in there and you can play it and you can get off the other nonsense and don't worry about all that other nonsense is so people feel better about their positions. because they hope it's going to get to these astronomical levels. And hell, I hope it's going to get there. That's a lot of money to be made. But I in no way base my trading on that. Not at all. I have no problem shorting it or long it or whatever the situation may call for. Let me see here. I don't even know that the markets are fundamental at all, Hank. The charts and, what's going on, the buying and selling is really emotional. Guys, I talk about this all the time. This is just a visual representation of the two greatest human emotions, fear and greed, in the aggregate. I mean, that's all we're looking at here. This is just, a derivation of all that. It's just showing you here what's going on between all that fear and greed. And fear is the largest emotion of all, which is why your sell-offs are always so strong. Tesla makes sense, right? Fundamentals are changing because technology is making up for human inefficiencies. Entirely anecdotal opinion here. Yeah, no. It depends on if society allows them to continue to do. Right now, they're fighting an uphill battle. The only reason Tesla is in business right now is because of the huge amount of government things that they're given. How the government, tax breaks and all these other things, these credits and all these things. That's the only reason Tesla's even in business. It's not because society said, hey, listen, we want you there. Now, if government can do it long enough that society eventually buys it and jumps in there, well, then okay. But, Tesla's success is purely a function of government, believe it or not. Yeah. So, it is what it is, right? Crypto is 0.001% fundamental. Yeah, maybe about that. Let me see here. What's going on, Edward Park? Good to see you checking in. Found my channel through Crypto Savvy. Hey, well, great. Fantastic. Glad you're checking in. Hopefully you'll continue to come back. Good to see you here. Mark is saying Elon was out saying that he believes in a purely capitalist society, yet got huge grants from California. Yeah. And that's the way most people tend to be, guys. The rich people, that are excessively wealthy like that, they're not different from you, me, or anybody else in that they're still driven by taking advantage of whatever's there. And I can't even argue that that's a wrong thing. If you talk about like Ayn Rand, and you talk about her and, she has all these ideas about government, and then people go, oh, but she took welfare. Well, I sit there and I go, well, yeah, but man cannot live on ideology alone, right? And so who's not going to take advantage of whatever's already there? It's just the nature of what it is, guys. And I think you're silly if you kind of write off something because of that. The fact that person may, not live purely by their, ideology and takes it. And even in the case of Social Security, that's money that you've already paid into the system. So, I mean, there's even that. It's not even like you're getting, handouts. You don't get Social Security unless you're putting money into it, unless, some kind of medical thing or whatever. But in general, people don't get Social Security unless they're putting money into it first. When you look at that, people tend to do what they're going to do. I've said it before. Human beings are not, I don't believe that in general human beings are evil. I mean, there's some people out there that are pretty messed up in the head. There's some chemical imbalances going on in there, which is what I believe makes them evil. But human beings are inherently lazy. We're going to try and do the things that we can do, not because it harms somebody else generally, but because it betters our position. And unfortunately, within that, many times somebody else is harmed in the process, which is government, right? You give to one group, you have to take from another. So there's always groups that are being taken advantage of by the government. But then it's, discussed away as, oh, well, you know what, this other group has been disadvantaged for so long. How dare you say something? It's a bunch of nonsense. It's people picking and choosing. And that's what it all comes down to. So at the end of the day, if you're a business and you've got the opportunity to do well, taking government grants and whatnot, I mean, I just see it as the way it is. The big issue is government making it available. So, yeah, but don't believe somebody that says, it's in that position and says, oh, I believe in all this, pure capitalism, all this. And at the same time goes, oh yeah, I'm going to take, all that money there, because they're going to do it anyway. Right. And if it was a purely capitalist society, how would they do what they're already doing? The odds are most of them wouldn't be able to. I'm not saying they can't, but most of them probably wouldn't be able to. Let me see here. Yeah, Lamb, man, buddy, you're just, it's just feeling emotion right now. Maybe you should, pull out to the larger time frames, work with those, and then kind of work yourself in, But, again, a lot of the inability to jump into a trade is this fear of losing. But if you follow proper risk management, then what fear is there to lose? 1%. There, as a new trader, and new trader doesn't even mean somebody just started yesterday. You could be trading for 5 years and still be considered a new trader if you're not doing it properly. And so when the fear is when the loss is only 1%, it's hard to be fearful of something like that. So yeah, just something to think about there. Let me see here. Let me see here. Lamb, you're saying that you tried to access the first videos. Hey, DM me there in Discord, buddy, and I'll check it out when I'm done here. Yeah, there might be an issue with the passwords. I know Vimeo's done some things lately that have changed things up a bit, so DM me over in Discord and send me a link to one you're talking about, and I'll check it out and see. Yeah. Tesla as a battery company selling cars to push a brand and gain market share for something that people don't recognize as market. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, the technology is not in the cars; it's in the batteries. And let's make no mistake. The battery technology is really great. I don't hate Tesla. They've got the car batteries there. They've got they've got the power packs for the houses and things. And so, a lot of great stuff there. Yeah. But I don't think they're a car company. I think they're a battery company, battery technology company, or even a technology company, masquerading as a car company. Let's see here. I choose when I choose to feel. No, I just don't feel at all. That's why I stay single. But yeah. So anyway, so that's kind of where we're looking there. If we're looking at the DXY, this is kind of where we're at here. So again, I talked about the range here with the swing low at wave 2 and this wave B here, because I was looking at this as a 1-2 and then 1-2 here as an expanded flat. So ABC down, ABC up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we did get this right around the pivot here and the descending channel resistance, using as support here on the 1 hour. Advanced up. We should be good to go, especially once we get above the R1 pivot. That should be good to go at least to R2 and R3 area. That doesn't complete it, though. That gets us close. But remember, ultimately, what I'm looking for here is a move above this wave 4 up here at 94, whatever it was, 743 or whatever it was up there. That's really what we need. If we can get above that, I don't think there's any reason to really be bearish at all. Right now, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. If we advance above this swing high here, this wave 1, parentheses 1 here, which is right up there around 92.50, right around that area. I mean, at that point, you could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so if we get that, right now I'm looking at this, a different count here, but even that would be a leading diagonal. And in such a case, you would get 5 up, look for 3 back, and then 5 more up at least. And in doing that, it would then likely take it above that level up there, which should then confirm, that the bottom's in. So we'll continue to see how it plays out as it does. Right now, I've got a minimum wave 3 target up here of 92,589. But if we look at this as a 1-2 here, so it's a 1-2, 1-2, then that should give us a minimum this wave 3 actually up here at 92,731. Oops. Let's see here, 92,731. And then from there, just pulling in a couple of fibs here real quick. That would be 1, 2. That would be 3 then. Right there. Oh, let me see here. And then that would give us a wave 4 pullback. Minimum about 38.2. So right around 92,323. Which gets, that makes sense, Push up toward the R2 pivot, pull back, find support right around the R1 pivot, push up higher again. Let me see here. That's going to get us then wave 5 up here at around 92,989. I got it right there. And so then that just becomes a 1. Before you get your pullback for your 2 there, heading back on that. So a little bit of update to the count there. Makes sense, works well. Right now, we definitely want to see it move above this wave 1 up here at locally at 92.503 to really get us going in there. According to the count here, we're above wave B, so we should be looking at further upside, but we'll see how it continues to play out. Now, Hank's opinion of Ayn Rand is obviously tempered by his location. In his area of the world over there, they're very much, people depend on the government. The government support that comes out there. Not they depend on it, but that there is that there. So, that kind of creates your bias toward things like that. Here in the U.S., if you think about the way in which, we fought for independence from Great Britain, and especially in Texas, when you think about things like the Alamo, where you had 180 somewhat people hold off, 4,000 troops until, they were finally overcome. But just, that desire to be free, it's going to temper your view on things. But that's just the way it is. You head over toward that side of the world and you keep hitting more and more Asia. Generally the what do you call it? Society over that way, as you head farther and farther toward Asia there, and in Russia, over in Asia over there, becomes much more communal than individualistic. So, there's a difference in the views on philosophers and their thoughts and whatever, depending on where in the world you're from generally, because of that. So, yeah. So there, again, if DXY continues heading up, Bitcoin should continue to head down overall. Again, downward price pressure due to an increasing value of that which that thing is valued in, right? So we'll continue to look at here. Let's see here. So if we've got that, then let me see here. I've got, here we go. So this here is the CME E-minis here for the S&P E-minis. on the CME. And so right now, looking at potentially a 1 done here, followed by a 2 potentially done at around the 78.6 retracement. We had a strong drop this morning, little push up at the open, and then strong drop down, and then strong, advance back up. You can see right here. So if you look at this, you have the strong move down, followed by strong move up, followed by a decently strong move down, followed by this candle here. So what that tells you is within this area, you've got a lot of that back and forth between buyers and sellers going on right here. And now, as long as price remains below this swing high up here at 39.4450, the count remains valid. And if it does, what we want to look for then, let's see here. I mean, we would assume that this right here is B, so this would be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe, if it's going to be an A, and this would be a B. So what you're looking for is a decline back below this swing low at 39.1625. And of course, if you're getting there, you're taking price back below the pivot. So again, if you're just trading pivots, that decline back below the pivot is usually a bearish sign. So, through the pivot and then through the swing low should kind of indicate that price has continued, has resumed its downtrend. In that case, because of this move up, we'll have to move that wave 3 target up a bit. If this is to hold true here, then 38.7925. Let's see here, 25. That would be the minimum wave 3 target right there. And so, if this is the 2 up here, that'll give us a minimum wave 3. If we get that, here's a 3, then 4 should pop up here. It says 39.02, but if I'm looking at the higher volume nodes here, well, I could see a scenario where it would end here a little bit shorter, 39.97. This kind of gets you right here into the nothingness area almost. So maybe not quite that high. But then you'd be looking for a wave 5 down here around 38.65, which takes it below wave 1 here, which kind of says, hey, we're definitely working, most likely, I say definitely most likely, working on our way further down from that. I don't see it as strong enough at the moment to, for this to head up here. If I look at this, again, looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even locally here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if this is 5 down, this is 3 up. We should at least have 5 more down below that swing low, for it, to at least get a minimum ABC. So we should be looking for more downside overall from this. Let me see here. Let me see. And then if we look here at the NASDAQ, get pulled up here real quick. Remember, the NASDAQ and the S&P are more tech heavy, especially the NASDAQ. So they may at times trend a little differently from the Dow Jones, which is a broader based index. Let's see here. So again, right here, we do have this advance up. Prices being well, I can't say it's really rejected just yet, right around the R1 pivot here. It looks like it's consolidating right there. So we may see it continue higher, maybe even toward 13,241.30 in this supply structure here of this wick. As long as price remains below this wave numeral 2, parentheses there, parentheses numeral 2, as long as it stays below that 13,297 and 48 cents, this current count should remain valid. And that would give us a minimum wave 3 here target of right around 10,599 and 24 cents. So, again, It's possible this could be an A and this is a B, and we've got C still to go up here. So even an advance above this wave 2 swing high here, I would just look at it initially as just that wave 2 is incomplete. And so we've got gaps over here on the daily right here at 13,580.78. And then up here at 13,773.77. So, I mean, you know, if price were to make it that high up, even though it gets it pretty close to that end up there, if this is the top, then I wouldn't be surprised to see price fill in those gaps before, you know, dipping down. So that gives you this, like I said, right here, this 13,773.77. If we're pushing up through this wave 2, we might see price get about that high. Obviously, if it gets above this, you know, this all-time high up here, that invalidates this here. This is some sort of 3 and 4 and 5, so more, you know, what do you call it here? Subdivisions going on to kind of continue it up there. But if we can get down here below this, you know, swing low, and again, you know, we've got 4 down or 5 down. And so it seems to me most likely that we're going to get 3 up, whether it's here or up higher, and then at least 5 more down. So that's kind of where I'm looking at with that there. Let me see here. And then, so then, like I said, if we look at those and then compare them here to the Dow Jones, which again is more broad-based. I've got a 1 and then this flat as a 2 here, which got rejected the pivot, so again, makes a lot of sense. But price needs to remain below. As long as it remains below this swing high up here at 32,810 and 40 cents, I'm looking for a minimum wave 3 target down here of 31,623.90, which just so happens to be the S3 pivot here on the 1 and 4 hour, which is also, by the time it gets down here, going to be the EQ of this ascending channel, if it does that. And advance above that swing high there at 38,810 and 40 cents, though, may... I don't know, maybe we look at that some really, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as some leading diagonal, 3 down and then 5 more back up. But again, that still leaves us below that all-time high up there. So that's kind of what I'm watching with that at the moment. But again, not every day is a good trading day depending on your time frames, guys. And so sometimes, you know, you have these situations where you have these ranges. And right now we do have a range here, and our range is what I have labeled here is wave B of 2 there, and then wave C of 2. So it's basically this wave C is your range. And so the breakdown or the breakout will kind of determine what we're going to see here for now. If it comes on down through, well, we should consider it heading down here toward this wave 3 target. If it pushes up to the top, we need to look back at it and just consider that wave 2 is not complete yet. It's still incomplete until, you know, price advances above the all-time high here at 33,227.80. You get above that. Again, we look back like the other one here, and we look at the subdivisions a little bit differently and see what we've got coming up with that. Let me see here. All right. Oh, let's see here. What else we got? We have got gold. Where's or silver? Let's look at silver because everybody's all about silver still, even though it's not doing many favors at the moment. You know, silver just kind of continuing to do its thing, continuing to notch these, you know, the trend obviously since February 1st has been high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, potentially lower low incoming. Just need to decline below 24.845 Right now, I've got a minimum wave 3 target here of 20.98. That gives you a larger wave 3 minimum target of 19.62. This is the 4-hour chart here. There's your bigger picture. Ultimately, still just kind of going sideways at the moment here. Really want to see a decline below this swing low right here at 21,810 to kind of signal, okay, here we're going, further down with all that. But here's one thing I'm going to show you, though. If we look at this as a trading range, notice up here at this higher peak here, look at the volume. Yeah, huge spike of volume at the top. So if you're in a range, and a range that's been playing here now since August, so what is that? September, October, November, December, January, February, March, going on 7.5 months now. And here you are about 6 months into it, and you're getting this excessive supply coming in at the top of the range on the attempt to bounce out of that. I mean, if I'm looking at that, I'm going, man, that looks a lot like distribution there. Because you're not getting much on the downside here as far as volume goes. It's staying low. You had this one right here, because that was your first low. So you had your first low right here, and then you had that low right there. So you get a little bit. But then, right after that, this high here, your volume's almost the same. Drops back down, less volume, goes up here, volume coming in, and then, huge spike of volume coming at the top there. So, I mean, even if we're looking at that in terms of price action and volume, I'm not feeling too positive about this range being any kind of reaccumulation. To me, that looks like distribution. Now, we're not going to know for sure until it plays out some more, but, that's kind of where I'm looking at the moment. If I had to look at it, I think we've got potentially, you've got your buying, you've got your preliminary supply here, buying climax. Yeah, you've got your stopping coming in here with all that volume. Dips a little bit lower, but then you get all this volume up here. Locally here, as far as pivots go, bouncing off the S1, getting rejected right here at this previous area of support and resistance here, this high volume node area. Come back down, big candles on the daily here, looking for a decline below that S1 to kind of continue taking it lower there. I mean, there's just not a whole lot to see that's any positive on this right now. That doesn't mean it can't become more so, but right now it's kind of doing what I've been expecting to do, and so we're going to continue to look for it to head on down toward $10. Let's see here. I don't use the ATR indicator usually. I mean, you can use it. There's ways to use it, but I don't really use it. Google user says, Chris, Bitcoin is still bullish. Well, it depends on what time frame you're looking at. Let's see here. It's bullish off the 23rd of March, early in the morning here. It's bearish off 22nd of March. It's bearish off the 20th of March. It's bearish off the 13th of March. It's bullish, from prior to that. I mean, if you come in here and just say, oh, it's still bullish, what does that mean? What are you talking about? You got to be more clear. Otherwise, your comments are just, it's like saying water's wet, or either that or they're just nonsensical, depending on, again, what time frame you're looking at. So everybody decides things change after they've changed, right? So everybody's going to become bearish after price is down 20 or 30%. Then everybody's going to become bearish. So again, we'll continue to watch this play out. Right now, we're just looking at this as an ABC. A little bit further down here, if it continues going lower, then again, we'll look for those other targets we were still looking at. But if it just gets an ABC here, there's your 3, there's your 4, and you've got a 5 still going up. So in that case, it would potentially be bullish. Simple, right? What's going on, Esteban? Oscar, good to see you guys. Common Man, you got to have some patience, buddy. Like I said, I'll take a look at it here as soon as we get through these other charts. Let me see here. Yeah, give me the correct ticker symbol to look up again. Because I looked at the wrong one at first last time. So yeah, gold finally breaking down. So we've been waiting. I've been waiting for gold to do this here. It's been riding this consolidation here between the ascending channel support and descending channel resistance. Rejection right along this pivot, expecting it to fall through, but needing it to do it. We're finally getting that right now. We really need to get a drop here below this one right here at 17, 16, and 60 cents. That's your first clue that top's probably in there. If you get down through this red line here, this swing low at about 16.96 and 60 cents, that should add confidence to the count here. And that gives us a wave 5 minimum target down here around 16.41. But that's 5 of 3. Again, looking at a larger decline here as we keep zooming out. Again, nothing bullish with gold at the time, at the moment here. It's been in a downtrend since August as well. Makes sense, right? Kind of finding support, at the moment here, right in this whole cluster of activity. Pushing down through that, though, opens up a move down toward this second cluster. Getting down through this second cluster, this 14,000 or this 1,450 to 1,500 area. Getting down through that really opens up the move down lower. Remember, ultimately, I'm still looking for gold right now to head on down here toward about 900 or so. But even if you're not, you should definitely expect to get down here around 1514 and then potentially around 1275. Those are high volume nodes just waiting to be, bounced off of, at least potentially. So, you should be looking at that at least. But instead, every time gold dips, every time silver dips, every time Bitcoin dips, everybody tells you buy the dip. Well, you can either buy the dip, spend about 5 cents on every dip, or, you're going to be, out of money, right? So you've got to kind of figure it out. Don't be blindly buying dips because everybody's telling you to do it online, or they're telling you you've got a small nether region or no brain, or you won't have fun staying poor, all that other stupid stuff. That's like, if you think about it, guys, that's like being in high school and bullying people, right? Making them feel like they can't possibly belong if they don't do what you're saying they need to do there. It's just meathead stuff. Think about that if you partake in that nonsense. I've never had a very soft spot for bullies. You've got to trade according to your own plan, guys. And if you don't have a plan, if you don't know what you're doing, then you need to know what you're doing. Because, man, if you're just trading off some Yahoo, and I could be that Yahoo online, what do you know? You're putting your hard-earned money at stake for somebody that you don't know or what they're doing or whatnot, right? So, stop, don't have people, don't be trying to get people to tell you where you need to enter or where you need to exit. It's great to go off charts and go and say, okay, well, what's their reasoning? And here's where they're getting at, and does that make sense to me? That's okay to do. But if you're waiting for somebody to tell you, listen, dude, or listen, man, you need to go ahead and just buy here or sell here. Best case scenario is that they're correct and you make a little bit of money. But even then, not knowing who you are as an investor or trader, that could be not very good for you. You could have a better opportunity that you should take that would make you even more money, or at least cause you a lot less stress because maybe the risk is too great with a particular position or something. So what's the good of making money if you're always stressed out all the time, guys? I've got to tell y'all, man, that's not the way to do it. If you're always stressed out about your positions because the risk that you're taking on is too great, stop doing it. It's not worth it, guys. Trading should give you two things: more time and more money. Ultimately. If it's not doing that, then, maybe you should rethink the way that you're doing it. Let me see here. Crypto Mowgli says, when waiting for price to hit your confirmation levels, it takes the risk reward down. So with this, do you bring down your stop loss to a relative swing high? Yeah, you can definitely do that. Sure. One of the greatest things that you guys have available to you is that you're able to manually, trade a stop loss. So, as you make, so you come down here and then you go up here and then you go short, right? And then you've got your stop loss up here, wave 2, and it goes down and boom, now you're below your swing low. Great. Pushes back up, comes down below that swing low. Guess what? You can move your stop loss down to here now. Continues down below this swing low here. Wait for the pullback. Wait for the continuation below that swing low. Now you can bring that down here. And so you're going to lock in profit. This one, hits below this one, pushes back up, drops back below again, bring it down. Drops down, pushes up, drops back down below again. Put your stop loss in. What happens here? If you had done that, you all of a sudden have this profit depending on where you got in. Let's say you got in here maybe on a breakdown of this swing low. And this is your stop loss here. And it went down further. See, most of y'all are going to see this and go, oh man, I lost all that profit. You don't need to be trading if that's the kind of thought process you guys are using. What you're doing is intelligently locking in your profits. So it goes back up. Yeah, you missed this little bit here, but you got all this here intelligently. There should be no stress at all. There's no stress in moving your stop loss like that. And you lock in this case, $98 of movement down for gold here. And then it goes up. Y'all are always so worried about getting the absolute lowest price, the absolute highest price. And this is what you need to do. It makes it so less stressful to trade, guys. That's right. No time for bullies or BS. Let me see here. So let me look here. So Rolls-Royce, I don't remember which one that is, what the correct ticker is for that one. Let me see here. Oops, God dog it. I don't think I kept it. It wasn't this one, right? You guys let me know what the correct one was. Ricey, that's what it was. There we go. So let's take a look at it. Not sure what's happened here that makes anything any different from where it was last week. Crypto man, I'm not sure, buddy. This is exactly what we were looking at. It's just a bit of a pullback here. That's the weekly. Let's kind of zoom in here a bit. 3-day, shorter time frame. Oh, why are we talking about the hourly? What I see here is a whole bunch of volume down here, which tells me, look at the volume. Look at how low this volume is prior to that. Then we get to this area where the swing low is. And look at all this volume. And look at the volume expansions it's trying to move up here. Everybody's looking at see that. Yeah, don't worry about the pattern so much, guys. Especially head and shoulders or cup and handles. You guys are gonna get those wrong more times than you ever get them right. It's not worth it. It's just stressful. So right here, we've got this decline here, volume decline. 1 hour we're really low, looking for a bounce. Just looking at the chart, I'd be looking for a bounce there. You had a surprise to the upside on earnings back here on March 11th, which led to this advance. Makes sense. If I look at this, to me, looks like you maybe got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that decline right there, is a leading diagonal here. So, Common Man, hey, I appreciate you, buddy. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate you, man. Thank you. We're right around the 61.8, 65% probably here. Let me flip this around real quick. Some of this stuff that TradingView does sometimes. All right, there we go. Yeah, right there, you know, almost 70. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for a possible reversal here. So let me see here. Can we get a advance through here? Yeah, I mean, I would minimum be looking for, you know, a move up through the S2 pivot. So here on the 1 hour, so that would be that descending channel or that descending resistance there. That would be the initial clue to me that the bottom may be in. Let's see here, 4 hour. 4 hour hasn't quite hit oversold yet though, so it might have a little bit further to go still. Daily's interesting. We're right at these swing lows here, which is this previous area of, you know, support resistance, right there at the pivot. So I definitely want to see some movement up through that. I don't know if I'm looking at the daily. I want to see a close above the daily pivot, and then follow through the next day. I want to see a close above and then follow through beyond that to kind of say, okay, to start feeling more and more better. That's probably done there. There's a lot of gapping in here, though. These gaps are all filled down here, even with the wicks. And now with this. So, I mean, you know, once we get that move up, we should be expecting it probably to fill in these gaps. So I would look at it as a 1 and then a 2, and we can get that reversal heading up there. Look at a possible 3 out of that. Yeah, definitely keep a watch. I mean, it's an interesting place right now. Like I said, it's right here at these swing lows, previous area of support and resistance, just below the pivot. Overall, I like the volume down here at the bottom. Now, you know, again, you've got, you know, it's split over here back on the 28th of October, 2020. And so we're getting a lot of volume at this previous swing low area. So I would definitely be looking for that. And especially if we're getting above this swing high up here, I think that just kind of opens it up. And then, you know, we've got this huge gap to fill in up here to around $3.50 maybe, getting up there. But again, that should just be the beginning potentially of that. Of at least some larger bit of, as we talked about last time, some larger bit of correction before coming further down. Let me see here. And what was the other one? Somebody else had another one they wanted to look at. Let me see here. Let's see. Ah, man, I can't find it. Oh, engine. Diego, what's going on, man? Oh, let me see here. By the way, the VPVR in there, that's the 4 hour, right in that 4 hour node there, daily node. Let's see here. So we'll do this. So are we looking at USD or are we looking at Bitcoin pair? Okay, Mark, we'll look at Theta in just a minute here. Yeah. Excuse me. Let me see here. What's going on, Onyx King? Good to see you checking in. Well, I guess we'll just look at Tether here. Yeah, so this is why people get interested, you know, in Theta and Engine and all that, because you got these large movements. Let's put this back on log. But even with log here, One thing we can see is we definitely ran through the pivots here on the daily. Got a lot of volume starting to pick up here toward this top area here. You can see it kind of kicked in this move up, and then this move up, and still kind of outsized volume up here toward the top. Look at that weekly. Ooh, man. Let me see here. So we had this channel it broke out of. As you can see, we had consolidation between the EQ and the resistance there before it broke out. I mean, on the weekly, that's a lot of hang space there. On the weekly suggests you could have a decline all the way back down here to 67 cents. There's absolutely nothing up here at all. Let me see here. Excuse me. Yeah, I see well above the target off that as well. Excuse me. All right, Diego. Yeah, that's what we got on here, man. Engine against USDT here. Man, that is... Oh, man. I mean, on the daily, it gives you a couple areas you can look for support right here around $1.73. Right here around $1.25, $1.28. But, you know, if you're losing this $1.08 here, I mean, you should be coming all the way down here to around 62 cents, potentially, right around that area. Let's see here. Excuse me. Now we've got this channel as well, more local channel here. And so we had the breakout, the retest, and the move up. Remember, guys, I always talk to you about these retests. You know, if you play retests, you'll miss some of them that break out and don't retest. But at the end of the day, you'll lose a lot less money because you won't take all the bad trades where it doesn't. Where it breaks out and you jump on as it breaks out and then it comes back against you and you get knocked out. But again, for new traders, you know, I can't convince you guys to think like that. And for many of y'all, you'll go, oh man, but that just means that I'm going to lose all that money that I could be making, and so I'm not going to do that. And then you'll end up losing a lot more. But, you know, it is what it is, guys. This looks like here locally here looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe. Make sure this 3 is not the shortest one here. All above 1 there. Yeah, that can't be. It's got to be maybe like a something else in there. It's a 6 hour. Yeah, see, that's too short right in there. Unless this is a 1 and you've got like an expanded flat here. That would be wave 3. Let's see here. See, that 1 is just above that 1.0. And that's above that there, yeah, so I think this would probably have to be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that. We might be getting a reversal right off this right here. You can see that we've got a swing low here of 1.9633, and we've got a swing high up here of 1.9472. So a little bit thin brush of air between that. This would be A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So if I'm looking at this locally right here, I guess what I'm saying is I see a 1, 2, And then within that, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4 potentially here. And then that would give us a yeah, I guess that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I guess that could be a 1 there. So 1, 2. And then we've got this interior. 1, 2, 3, 4 is a triangle, 5. Something like that. And so with that being a 1, 2, that 3 is 1, 6, 1, 8, almost exactly. Works out well for me. The 4 is a deep pullback, but nonetheless, that 4 is likely just a B, C down here. And then that would give us then 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives us a minimum wave 5 of, drum roll please. I know some of y'all just did it, didn't you? Probably up here, at least the one at R2 here, at the 6-hour R2 pivot there, right about 3.54 minimum. That would be the minimum target off that. And that's just locally here, you know, so you could continue to break it down backwards here. You get a better target. But I would look for, you've got to get above. So again, this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you need to move above wave 4 to get to be the first clue that bottom's probably in. So that's 2.49997. So basically 2.5. Or you can just, sit here and look at the pivot, get above the pivot. It's your first clue. If you get above wave B up here at 2.91941, that should add confidence to your count there. And then you've got that minimum wave 5 up there, just above that 6-hour R2 pivot, right up there. So, yeah. But if you see this continue to drop down, let me see here. I think if you see this continue to drop down below this wave 1 here, 1.9472, I think then you should be really cautious about it. Like I said, right now it makes it good, A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is an ending diagonal. Like this here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So if you drop through that, you should be really careful. But definitely, if you're dropping below this wave 2 swing low here, this 1.523, I think that just kind of says, you know what, that count's invalidated. You have to figure something else out. So yeah, again, that's where you look for. If it's going to continue up here, you want to see it get above that swing high right there, right below the pivot. Get above it, it starts looking pretty good. Get above wave B, it looks even better. Minimum target potentially up there. So let me see. So that's that right there. Back over here. Still looking at Bitcoin. It may, Bitcoin may just kind of get on up here to this 50% area, or maybe even a bit higher, retest that support as resistance. Just gonna have to watch it. I mean, it seems like a pretty easy count right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's your A, there's your B. From that point, it looks like a 1, 2. and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is maybe an ending diagonal. Maybe see something like that. We might see something like that play out maybe. But, I'm going to give it room there to hit that 50% or even a little bit higher there. But again, what you're looking for is that move down below this green line, below this 54,100. Getting below that, that should indicate that wave 5's in progress down there toward, 51,200 kind of area. So, yeah. I'll do one more here. VET. I guess VET USDT. You guys really got to say which ones you want. Haven't looked at this in a while, I don't think. The month. 20 days. So, let's see here. I did this chart back on 3rd here, right about here. 1, 2 didn't play out too well. 3, 4 worked out fine. 5 hit perfectly, almost. Finding support at the pivot there, but it's going to be a little bit different on that. Let me zoom out here a bit. Let's see here. Let's get rid of that. So we've got basically this 1, 2, 3, 4. We got a 5 potentially working out here. So 1, 2. Three, 4. Yeah, we might have a little bit higher to go on this depending on the subdivision here. Looks like we've got a 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I go 1, 2, and then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we could have a little bit higher up here. Might hit 10 cents, maybe. I think that might set that up for this. As far as this goes. Get over here. So yeah, I might have just a little bit further to go up there. I think it's got a little bit, and then I think we'll get that pull back down toward this, let's see here, toward, right back down here toward about 5 cents, 5.5 cents minimum. Could come on down toward 4.5 cents. That's a 50%, but probably looking about that toward the 38.2 there. Get you right into this activity right here. So it makes a lot of sense. Let me see here. And then I did say I was going to do theta, so I'll go ahead and look at that real quick as well. Let's see here. Come on. There we go. Oops. All right. Jesus. Yeah. Absolutely insane. Look at that. It's up about 37,500, 37,600%. That's crazy. Let's see here. All right, Crypto Mowgli, have a great day, bud. Yeah, let me see here. The first thing is we ran through the daily pivots. I always say that because that's usually the first clue that the top may be there. But it doesn't have to be, but you definitely should give it a watch when it happens. We're right up here at channel resistance. Pushing up right now at the end. We're up here at around 90.5 on the RSI. Stochc RSI's got a little bit more room there. Weekly, man, weekly screams that we're just about done. Almost 96 on the RSI. Stochc RSI's topped out. Notice the volume drop as price has gone up. Monthly. Jeez, oh whiz. It's a heck of a month there. Man, you know what though? With this moving up as high as it is done right here, 9 more days left in the month. I think this may be near an end, and if it is, I wouldn't be surprised to see this kind of just shoot on back down, leave a big old wick. Let's see here. Yeah, it rallied crazy, Mark. Yeah, it sure did. I'm always iffy about entering things like this because when you've rallied so much, many times you just get that sudden return, like I was just talking about, and it just sinks on you. There's usually a lot more risk-adverse trades that you can take. You guys know I'm not very risk-tolerant when it comes to trading. I like to make my money and keep it without having to work too hard. Like I said, human beings inherently lazy, right? I'm no excuse, or I'm no exception. Let me see here. Yeah, I mean, it may have a little bit further to go, but it seems like it may be getting near its last leg there. I mean, it's possible looking at quick count here. Let me see, what's this low here? 28.1757. 28.67. So there's your low. So maybe you got like a 1, 2. And you got potentially a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you get a 1, 2, 3, 4. Potentially get you your 5 there. Where we're at. I mean, we can get that 5 count out of it. Whether it's done or it's got just a tad bit further to go, I think it's probably nearing its end there. Yeah, you're about to hit that one. I mean, if it's going up further, maybe $14.12 maybe. And that kind of takes it right here to the resistance of both these channels kind of area there. Maybe it could continue up to 123.6 here at 15.57. But for me, the amount of risk involved in getting into that, I don't like it as a trade. That doesn't mean you can't take it if you want to. You know, it's possible that you've got a 1, 2 and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But until we get some sort of pullback here, we're not going to know for sure. So, I mean, you could be looking at just those simple local targets, or, you know, it could potentially head on up here a bit further. But like I said, until it actually, we start seeing some pullback here, get a greater degree of pullback to kind of understand what this count may be right here, you know, it still keeps you susceptible to the local count there on that. Yeah. You know, I think that, you know, for me, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. When it comes to trading, I'm not interested. I know a lot of y'all, you'll get excited about something like this because you've had this huge move up and it seems like everybody's in it. And then you want to get in. And you may or may not do okay with it here. But my goal as a trader is to take a higher probability trade with less risk. I don't want to have to work so hard. Okay? 426. Hey, you're welcome. Glad to have you here, buddy. So when I look to take a trade, I look at this and I go, man, to me that just there's so many other trades where they're at much better positions. You just got to look for them. To me, this kind of trade would cause me not to sleep too well, and I don't like to I don't like to sleep poorly. As Hank says, you don't have to be afraid to buy into strength. For me personally, though, with the move it's had up here, and with me unable to definitively say, that's a 5 right there or it's a 3 coming up here, it would just mean that I'd spend too much time looking at the chart and chasing it. I'm not interested in that personally. But this is why I tell you guys, you got to figure out who you are as traders or investors, because that's ultimately going to help you figure out where you should be. The problem is too many traders get in here and they have no clue who they are. And so they go and they just jump after anything, and then they're stressing out all the time, and they're always upset, and they're never having a good time, and they can't get away from the charts. And so trading becomes, this jail for them. It keeps them there, and that's no fun. So I always say, man, when it comes to it, don't get into a trade just because, everybody seems to be in it or it's done well for a while. Look for other trades that are positioning themselves to do the same thing or to do something similar to, make some good move up. You'll be, I'll tell you what, the sleep that you'll be able to save with it and the lack of emotion and stress that you're going to have because of it is going to make you feel so much better, guys. Let me see here. Are there 3 particular assets in crypto off the top of your head that you would be interested in entering? Honestly, I'll be honest with you right now. And this is the thing, guys. I'm at this different point in terms of what I trade than many of y'all are at. I'm not really interested in putting a lot of money into alts. I like Bitcoin as a trade. It can handle, a good bit of position size without, affecting it. It's got great liquidity. Everybody knows about it. It's the one to trade, as far as I'm concerned. And so along those lines, I'm interested basically, if anything, in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and, probably Litecoin. Just your bread and butter kind of trades there. I'm not trying to 100x something overnight or in 3 weeks or anything like that. So unfortunately, I'm not much help when y'all ask questions like that. Because for me, I'm at a different point with trading than what you probably are. If I had to think about something right now, alts that I generally trade more often than not are VET. I got to think nowadays because, again, I don't do as much trading in alts anywhere near as much as I used to. I've traded BAT a lot more than a lot of them, but definitely VET. Link's a decent one to trade. What is it there? I've got XVG in my head, and that is Tezos. Is another one. XTZ, not XVG. Those are ones that I would prefer to trade if I'm trading alts. And even BNB, Binance Coin. I guess if I traded on, what's the exchange called? Kuko or whatever. Their exchange coin might be something worth trading as well. I guess if you get beyond that, you can probably look at ADA and DOT, which is why we're adding those to our updates as well. We added TLT today for Tier 3. We'll be adding DOT and ADA for Tier 3 here pretty quickly as well. Most of my trading right now, outside of Bitcoin, really is Forex right now. Yeah. I trade Doge based on cycles, sure. When it's down at the bottom of its cycle, buy in, yeah. So, yeah, that's what I would think there. Sure. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. It is 1 o'clock. Yeah, that should do it there. Yeah, I mean, guys, just try. I know this is like sometimes talking to a wall. I remember what it's like being a new trader. But really, guys, the most important thing you can do is risk management. That's really where it needs to be. Beyond that, do your best in learning to understand how markets kind of work. Stop going off this idea that news moves markets or whatever. News gives it knee-jerk reactions. But if you really understand how markets work, you're often in that position well before the news hits. Okay? So a lot to think about with that. But guys, at the end of the day, if you're going to be trading, you've got to do it. You can't let other people tell you where you need to buy and sell. Feel free to look at charts. I mean, that's a great thing to do. Maybe it'll tell you something you didn't notice. But at the end of the day, you've got to make sure that what they're saying makes sense to you. And it's hard at first, especially if you don't know what you're doing. So again, it goes back to you have to learn what you're doing, guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat it here. I'm not going to tell you that you're going to be a trader overnight. You're not. And the sooner that you guys figure that out, the better position you'll be to actually stay liquid while you're learning. That's the goal, man. If you can't stay liquid while you're learning, you'll never make it to the point that you want to make it, okay? So it all comes about learning. It all comes about risk management. And, once you get those things in, all of a sudden, this emotion that you usually feel right now, those kind of things, they don't affect you as much anymore. It's hard to be overly emotional when you understand where a price is likely to go depending on what levels it's getting to, and your risk is in there to protect you if you're wrong. It's really hard to get concerned about it when you're only losing, 1%, which is important if you're a new trader. Okay, but you've got to, it doesn't mean you just risk 1%, whatever. You've got to understand, again, it's the things we teach, guys. You got to understand how to set your position based on, your position size based on your risk management, how to find the proper stop loss, stuff like that. And, again, once you get good at risk management, then you have to work even more at, now it's not just having good risk management on every trade. It's only taking the trades that make sense. It's taking the higher confidence trades, not just every chance that happens, okay? So anyway, guys, there you go. That's it. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. As always, we'll be back on Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So really hope that you guys, join me then. And if not, hopefully, or even if you do, hopefully you guys will jump in here with us at howtotradetowin.com. And so once again, that coupon code, like I said, I think it's only got one left on it. Tier 3 annual 35% off. So there it is right there, guys. That works for one Tier 3 annual subscription and takes you well below 50% of what you'd pay month to month on Tier 3. So it only works for new members of TWC. Would love to have you there, but again, if not, would love to see you back on Friday, all right? You guys have a great day. Thanks so much for tuning in, and as I continue to say here, remember, the only thing you control in the market is how much you lose. That's it. Oh, the coupon has expired? Oh, well, let me go fix it. I'll fix that right after I close down here. I forgot I put an expiration date on that. But I'll go ahead and fix it as soon as I get on here, and it's a first come, first serve, guys. So it'll be ready there in a minute, okay? Have a great day, everybody. Take care.